There you go. All right. Voice recording activated. All right, guys. Well, it's 10:02. Whoever comes in, it's fine. But, oh, there you go. There you go. Yeah, there you go. As I said, it always gives a couple minutes to make sure, But today's panel, today is July 1st. Yay. 2017. And this panel number 2 during Blerd Con. And this panel is about strong and meaningful storytelling for your comics and novels. And I figured that, it was something that needs to be talked about because most people are just talking about how to produce a book and how to put out comics. But no one is telling them the reason why you do it and how strong is your story to put your production out. And we've been seeing a lot of stuff in the industry lately with Kickstarters, Indiegogos, and everything else, but no one's pumping a product, or it may not believe in their product as much as they thought they did. And I said, now it's time to bring things back home and start talking about what needs to be done to get a proper product out in the marketplace where people can gravitate to it and actually start talking about your work and know the meaning behind your work. And that's why we did this panel. My name is Eric Cooper. I'm a writer for Knightseeker and also for Star Enforcer, so I'm a novelist. I also do comic books as well. I'm out of Trenton, New Jersey. Been doing this for the first book came out in 2005. So I've been around for a while. People know me, professionals, and I go to comic cons, I go to San Diego and stuff like that. Professionals always approach me and say, Eric, what's new? But when it comes to other writers and other creators, no one's really coming up to them and saying, like, what's going on? Because they keep on talking about the same old project they got, nothing new. And I said, this is the reason why we need to bring things back home and start giving you a true base of what you need to do. And to my left is Jabbar Brown. He'll introduce himself.
How you doing? I'm Jabbar Brown. I guess I'm a writer, artist. Everything goes into a comic book I'm a part of. To selling it, to printing it, to owning it, and pushing it on younger generations so they can do it. I've been around probably, seven to 8 years?
About 7 years, yeah.
Yeah, I met him at a Comic-Con, and I had comic books. I got goosebumps still to the story. I had a book bag, and I couldn't get a table. I didn't understand of selling a product. Because all I ever knew of selling a product is if I was on a street corner. I didn't understand 5, 10, 15, 20, and these people were making it. And it's like, wow, how you doing it? So I'm walking in front of tables with books. Coming in front of your table, and they were like, yo, Eric's going to come back. I'm like, oh, yeah, Eric Cooper, the white guy. And I'm thinking that this white guy is doing it. And they were like, so I'm like, oh, well, I want to buy my book. And they're like, yo, he comes by, he might say something about that. So I left and went to the other table that they were at. And I was like, yo, I got some hot books, yo. I'm going to sell my product. And they're like, wait till Eric gets back. I'm like, yo, like I might have stepped on some toes. So I walked around a couple of times and I met a couple other artists and I came back and he was like, yo, where's your table at? I ain't got no table. Then what are you doing? And it was like, I thought I rubbed him the wrong way. And he was, he was like, yo, do this and that. Here's my card. And I didn't call up until like almost another Comic-Con with this thing called ECBOC, a black Comic-Con. And I seen all these products, but none of them owned. I seen one black brother and he had like 14, 15 books. He had this thing called Dreadlocks. This brother walks in and he sees me and he was like, yo, don't ask anybody else these questions. Talk to Tony Isabella about selling your product. He drew Black Lightning and all the Teen Titans and stuff. He did all that stuff. So I'm talking to him. He was like, yo, if you want to sell your product, you got to believe in your product. If you don't believe in your product and you just want to draw, you want to put all this manga and blackface it, he said, it's not real. He said, I'm a white guy. I'm telling you now, the artwork was stolen. You just weren't allowed to own it. And I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you got to do research how to sell your product. He said, that is graffiti. When you watch Wild Style and Beat Street, he said, these Latinos already had this. Blacks caught on later. That started with hip hop. He said, now, you can even look at Wild Style and you'll see Dragon Ball Z on Wild Style. We just weren't allowed to own things at this time. And this time, you're seeing a lot of stuff going on, like how do we sell product? I started hanging with him. He took me out to eat one day and was like, you really want to start working, you got to get behind these tables. But you got to believe in your product. He said, I don't know your friends, but they don't believe in your product. You're pushing the product, and they don't believe your product. They want to meet the stars and shake hands with DMC, Goldberg, while you're doing all the hard work at the table, and they're taking pictures with Tony Atlas. And they're like, you got to learn how to push your product. You can't be quiet. And the main thing I tell anybody, if you guys are selling a product, you have to be the loudest person. I was gifted with a voice to be loud and deep. I can talk to somebody and be like, this is Allstate. They'd be like, you're the guy. You know what I mean? You got to have that voice, and you got to be hungry. And so that was the main thing he told me. He's like, yo. And now the best friends that I've worked with, when I created my first book, we don't talk. It came down to almost being blows. They even moved to my neighborhood to be closer to me to work on these books. Now one's in Denver, the other one's in South Carolina, where he's supposed to be, because he thought different than I did. He didn't want to push anything I wanted to push. When it came down, when I met Ramona Africa, Angela Davis, I said I want to put the 10-step program out. It's not a black thing, it's a discipline thing. I learned discipline. When I went homeless, I read these books, and it's about discipline. How to come up. If you don't love yourself, how can you sell a project? How can you sell yourself if you don't love yourself? Mm-hmm. So I'm telling all the writers, if you write and you draw, please let it come from the gut. Do not try to be like this guy or the next guy, or have a Kickstarter and say, oh, this is the biggest product. You know why? Because I got a Kickstarter, done me sold this much. Well, what's the next product? And you see people, they'll do Marvel, DC. They keep on having a big panel of Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. I tell people all the time, as I talk to people in the industry that sit there and have books, the only reason they won't come in here and sue these people for infringement laws, he said, well, half of them advertise for us. And if anything, that's a lot of settlement in court. So we have to pay for a lot of lawyers. And the other thing that's really, really deep, he said, there's only a couple brothers in here. So why would we waste time on that? I was like, that's the most ignorant crap I have ever heard. So if you would only take 4 of us, because that's what the 4 of us are probably infringement laws to the T. Because other ones have their own product. And I was like, there's something deep about this. So I started doing more research. I started working with Ashley Biden. She showed me the TV and how they sell stuff. Me and him found out females are only 2.4% in the comic book industry. That's it. With the brothers. Because we can't hide who we are. You come to our table, it's not the product they see first.
It's you.
It's me. Mm-hmm. Just like a female. If a female's selling a product, they don't see the product. It's them. It's just like if a woman does Wonder Woman, it's a great one. This woman, why can't she just be a director? Mm-hmm. They label stuff so much. Now that's why I said it's hard to sell comic books. I didn't believe he could sell novels. And I went to a couple Comic-Cons. He was eating me up. I'm like, I got books. I'm even sitting at the same table like, this is some bull crap. You know what I mean? Now you look at your best friend and like, that's so ignorant, dude. And he's like, oh, Jabbar, you should be able to sign these. I'm like, dude, I'm going to do one of Knightseeker books. And he wouldn't let me do one. For almost like 5 years, he wouldn't let me do a Knightseeker book.
You can't touch it.
I did pictures. I did all kinds of fan work. Oh, man, we're even friends. Yeah. But did you read my book? And I was like, you know what I mean? Like, so it was like I had to go read these books, and I read certain chapters, and I started creating it, and I was like, I could put this in my world. I don't think this would ever work in anybody else's world. Because the thing is, if you create, you got to have your own world.
Yes.
You can't always want to do Marvel and DC and Dragon Ball Z all the time. I tell people all the time, if we're out here, and people have been asking for black comic books, he told me, Jabbar, they've been asking for black comic books. They don't have Milestone no more. You don't see all this type of stuff more. And we're dropping it. We're dropping it. I said, yo, Eric, when are they going to start dressing like what you got on? Now I see people dressed with Knightseeker stuff on. I'm like, well, why are the brothers still blackfacing? They're mad at every other race. I tell every single black person right now, I stare them right dead in my face. I put this on my kids. Would you be mad if a kid came in here with blackface on, was doing a black character? They'd never answer the question. Oh, yeah, Jabbar, you know the weather was cool. Answer that question.
Answer the question. Mm-hmm.
I said, then why do y'all do it so much? We right here in your face. Every Comic Con I go to, people know me already. Why are y'all still dressed up as Marvel and DC? You asked us, keep on creating. Keep on coming creating. They have a Black Spider-Man. Is it created by us? The boy just started speaking Latino after Comic-Cons. Comic-Cons, we complained and complained and complained. How can a grandmom from a Latino Puerto Rican boy? I said, I got Latino in my family. You're trying to tell me the grandmom don't speak Spanish around these families? What? They don't even speak the American stuff that you get taught. They have their own slang. If you don't know this, that means you never sat down and eat. So how are you going to draw them if you never sat down and ate?
There you go. And that's the thing. And part of this is also structuring how you're going to tell your story that's, if you think it's worthy enough to be told, is the foundation. Why are you telling the story that you want to tell? You got to ask yourself that. Why are you telling it? Because you don't know the reason why you're telling it, then why the hell do it? You have no true essence of why you're telling the story. You might want to tell your story, but do you need to tell your story? That's what comes out. What's your need to tell your story? If you can't answer that, you ain't ready yet. You're not ready yet. Also, why do you choose to write it? What's your reason why you write it? Do you need to write it, and why do you write it? Because if you find your why, your how's all around you. But your why has to be strong enough to get to the how. And some of y'all might get upset with me. It's fine. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to be your teacher and your mentor. That's why I'm here. I've been to other panels. I've been to D.C., Washington, freaking Florida, and everything else. But when it comes to panelists, guess what? They only give you corporate talk. That's it. Most of them don't even own their own product. So how the hell are they going to teach you how to do what you need to do? They only own their own stuff.
A lot of them.
A lot of them. They'll never tell you that, though. So I'm black, I can sit on the panel. How many books you got? Oh, I got one book.
How long you been doing it? 16 years? My kid knows how to drive now. I was seeing you when the baby, and these guys are still working on one product. And these people, that's a lot of them. You guys see it. You guys go to the Comic-Con and you go to tables, you see one product, the one book, everything else Marvel and DC. What have you been working so hard on? I started taking my daughter to Comic-Con. She don't even like to go anymore. She was like, all these females do all these Comic-Con, these comic books, and they look good. They look way better than all these guys. And since I've been teaching for 9 years, I got 5 females in college. Boys don't, they're good, but they just do things like Star Wars. We're going to make the Death Star bigger. I'm going to put, instead of blonde hair on this guy, I'm going to blackface and put braids in his hair. Like, yeah, that's Goku with braids. But it's not. Like, did you make his nose with bigger nose nostrils? Why should I do that? You got a big nose. But it looks cool this way. But does it look like you? Does it look like you?
Are ashamed of yourself.
And that's what I was for a long time.
Are you
I would
ashamed
never
of
draw
yourself?
no blacks in none of my books when I was younger. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. My thing was, I want to be like Jack Kirby. He's almost like a god to me. When I almost lost my arm, I tell people I had to start reading. And that thing was, I didn't know how to read. So I picked up a Brother Man book, Alex Haley, and a whole bunch of Jack Kirby books that I got out of the box at a yard sale. All I had was my McDonald's clothes. I had my niece. So we're homeless, and this is how I read to her. If I was wrong on something, she'd say, you gotta do that again and make it sound good. By learning this, I'm learning discipline for my niece, because all they ever wanted to pass me by, because I'm a big brother, so play football for us, play basketball for us. I had the talent that God gave me, but how can I utilize it if I can't read it? I've been hiding it for almost 11 years from my parents, and they're wondering why I'm failing. It's not that I wanted to fail. I just didn't get it. The only thing I got was a picture and a thought bubble. I got that, but I can't read a book and focus on it. I'm done. And then it was like, when I learned how to create, I was like, yo, if I want to do this, I have to learn how to write. I have to stop selling these dimes and nicks and stuff. And it got so bad, I was like, my sister was like, you sell stuff to me. I know what you can do. You rather have me sick and cook that product in my house, sell it to me, and you don't even draw no more. I had to go to California and realize I got to start loving myself. I was in the 92 riots. It made me wake up. It made me truly wake up. I know how to do 265 signs. I could throw it all day on people. They wouldn't even know. And I tell them, if you can do that and concentrate on that, why can't you pick up a book and learn how to read? So I stopped selling drugs, and it came down, I'm going to put this into work. I want that hunger. And I've been doing it for a very, very long time. So now my 5, 10s, 15, 20s is my books. I'm just not getting arrested anymore. I'm not getting thrown on the ground and shut up, get down, take your clothes off, we want to fight. It's none of that. People actually want my autograph. It's not like, yo, let me smoke something with you since you got done. It's actually, I want the autograph. And it's like, and that turned, that's what I told him. I said, dude, I love this. He was like, you got to keep on doing it then. And I'm so glad that he helped me out. Was like, yo, like sometimes I wanted to quit many a times. And he just kids is liking what you're doing. You know what I mean? So how can you turn them down?
And that goes back to why.
Why are you doing
it? Thing is, who else has a story that does a panel? Tell me anybody. I've been around over 10 years. No one has that story. So if they don't have that story, what are they giving you? Because they don't know anything about his background, what he does, how he's been living the streets, homeless. He's telling those stories in his books. He's giving real life. Everybody else that's been panel, they might not have as much money as they want, but most of them live a medium-class lifestyle.
They got BET.
Yeah. They can never give you true essence of a true, I don't say a true black story, but a person that comes from the streets, that's been there, done that, been locked up, been homeless, had to take care of his sister. No one has that story. So now I give them a platform to tell that damn story because it's real. You might use some different characters here and there to not, to tell everyone's identity, but hey, we make this thing palatable to understand that we're telling some stories that have some true essence to it. And if you don't get it, you don't get it. But guess what? When it came to Knightseeker, when I first came out with the story, I said, well, Eric, why are you telling the story? I was pissed with Marvel. I was going around dressed up as Spider-Man, doing conventions. I wanted to work for him and do appearances for like high schools and for events and stuff like that. Got a letter from him saying, you're infringing our product. You look too good. And also we found out you're black. And you're taking your mask off at a convention. Me and only one other guy was the only Spider-Mans doing stuff at Comic Cons. We're the only two guys. And we met each other in Pittsburgh. And we took his mask off, so I went, oh, we're both black. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. And I said, wait, I didn't know either. Oh, snap. And, I can't realize that when we started taking our mask off and go on the floor, people said, wait, black brothers don't wear spandex on the floor. What's wrong with that? Well, also Spider-Man's white. Yes, we know this. What's the issue? So, and the thing is, the cosplay community, and that's another thing is that when I got denied from doing Spider-Man, I had a character I want to come out for Marvel. It was actually a black kid, the guy's powers from Peter from blood transfusion. And the whole story is already outlined and pretty much written. And I was going to submit that to them if I got the job for doing Spider-Man appearances. And I was down. I was like, they denied me. They started infringing their product. I was crying. I felt I got everybody else in the Spider-Man community in trouble. And someone said, well, what about that character that you got? I said, well, it ain't going to work. I said, I'm done. He said, well, you seem to be intelligent enough to, do your own thing. Then just revamp it. So about 3 hours, I sat down and actually said, okay, I found my hunger. Because I want to get back at them. That was my driving force. I said, you guys think y'all the shit. But I could bring something else different out and people would appreciate just as much as the other guy. So I went to work. And when I did Spider-Man, I said, okay, I knew about the black thing. Okay. I didn't have pictures in the first book. It was all text. And I had him just as he is. He's all masked up. But no one knows he's black. When people read the book and they're reading through it, I said, Eric, what color is the character? We don't get it. I said, well, I never described his skin color, but you should be able to get the idea of the way he talks. He's actually black. Really? So that's why I said, but he's actually me. That's why the character seems so real. I've never heard that from anybody that has created a character at all.
None.
That it feels like a real person. It feels like, yeah, it's coming from me. That's who I am. You're reading my backstory. It's me. So the essence of the character is actually my own backstory. And so he gets his powers, of course, it branches off. But I got to tell my story of me as the character. But then they found out, oh, you did cosplay. Wait, you're the first person to cosplay his own character? Yes. I was actually asked by Stan Lee to be on Who Wants to Be a Superhero. When they had their first meeting of all the characters there, he said, who's not here that should be here? Guess whose name comes up? Mine. He did everything that we wanted to do, and he's not here. What the hell's going on? That's why they're pumping Stan Lee to talk to me. Said, we need you on the show. Stan, I'm sorry. Stan, thank you for asking me this, but I found out about the people you work for because you're just a figurehead. They want me on the show to steal my product because I know that when you go on that show, you sign your contract. They own your ass. Fat Mama, Fraser, all those other guys, they own their characters. They own them.
Big time.
They own their characters. That's why they cannot come out with their own product. They own them. The thing is, you must understand, when you have your characters, you believe in that damn character, and you own that character. You bring out your own stuff. Do not rely on DC, not rely on Marvel, do not rely on the professionals, because guess what? They work for them anyway. They might want to get you to grab your character. And don't ever do your stuff in secret. Make sure people know about it. You have your own website, do not do the free ones. Because guess what? There's contracts that say, look, you put stuff on our site, we can't own your shit. Make sure you pay for your monthly site. I don't care if it's $2 or $3. But it shows that you have ownership of your content. Don't ever realize, there's nothing in this world for free, people. Nothing. Nothing. Oh. Don't ever do anything for free. If, like Joker said, if you get something, don't ever do it for free.
Nope.
Dark Knight was one of the best parts of showing true society. When everything goes as planned, it's great. But when you go outside that bubble and you do your own damn thing, everyone gets crazy. I'm sorry to say it. So shake things up. Do your own stuff. Do not rely on other people to do stuff for you. Do not rely on this Black Panther. This thing coming out. Everyone's all happy, joy. Oh yeah, we finally get, after 18 years, we finally get Black Panther. Only reason why, I hate to say this though, because the current administration is in office. And I think we think that what happened really has happened is this, is that, say, look, we were delaying this for a while. Now black people say, like, where's our Black Panther movie? Because don't forget, the main CEO of Marvel donated to Trump's campaign $5 million. That's a lot of bread. So they don't want to get any slack from their fans saying, well, we got to get this damn Black Panther movie out because we're going to go crazy. But the thing is, what is the reason behind producing the Black Panther movie? Can somebody tell me, why are they telling Black Panther's story? What's the reason behind this story? Can anyone tell me in the room? Please.
To continue the Avengers storyline.
Oh.
To make my girl Black History Month.
And that's deep, because that's one of them.
That's one of them.
That's one of them. That's why they held it back past the Tupac movie. Because they know right then, if Disney comes out with 2 Disney movies in the same month, they have to compete. They put Cars out when the Tupac movie came out. It was the worst Disney movie ever put out. You hear no talking about it anymore. This bad, horrible movie that I think probably 50% of blacks will say, oh, Tupac was horrible. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. But the thing is, he did the exact same thing what Homegirl did when it came down to Wonder Woman. I want to put some of my money. I want to invest in this product. We really don't need it. We can just put her 15 minutes like we did in the other Batman movie. No, we want the whole flick. So we're going to put our money into this. If we take pay cuts, whoop, whoop, we take pay cuts. Females don't play, so you don't like to argue with them. Oh,
no.
We'll see if she fails or not. She ate them up. She ate them up that weekend, just like Homeboy ate them up with the Tupac movie. They're not even selling fruit roll-ups with the cars on it no more. All eyes on me. That's what that happened. And the thing was, I tell people all the time, we have to stop criticizing our own product. We love the Black Panther, but who's paying that director? You better not say nothing that we don't like, because you know what? 3 other men was going to direct that. That sounds like too much power. Get the female that worked with the lady that does Scandal. I have mixed children. My wife said, why does every single show this woman does, she makes this woman look like trash. We will like it for a couple months, and then we're just done with that show. She said, I couldn't see your mom acting rude like that. I never met none of you. Your family treats me better than my family treats me. So where's the slutty thing where if you have power, you got to be a slut? I said, you know what? Because she wrote it, and she has to pass it through a whole board of men. If you want this scene the way we want it seen, she better be somebody for like the Kennedys. So she can have power? Yeah, but she better have rusty knees. And it's horrible. It is horrible. Why don't a female say enough is enough? Let me write my own product and have my own product. And they said, okay, let me go and see what's going to happen. We're going to see what happened. Jennifer Jones. Let me write my own product. A female made that. Female produced that whole product. It shut Netflix down. Shut it down for 2 days. We want to watch Jennifer Jones. You can't. Because you know why? The most exciting part, they seen interracial. What? A black man with a white woman? Yeah, they're going to have a baby soon. Get the mess out of here. And that's the great thing of it. Because females don't joke. If they're going to put something out, they do the real research and do not joke. Men be like, I'm going to put this part in because it's a more exciting part. This looks good with a green screen on it. Females don't need all that. You get it. Mm-hmm. They're telling you, that's what made Superman and Batman good. Wonder Woman. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I couldn't stand Lex Luthor. Batman was getting on my daggone nerves. Superman was the only thing I can deal with. I'm like, this Latino dude is pulling this off. He's a beast with it. He makes Christopher Reeve look weak. I hate to admit it, but he makes him look weak. He can carry that Batman role and Superman roles and stuff. But when you seen Wonder Woman come in, my daughter was like, Dad, can we rewind that? I said, you don't even like these. You said these are dumb movies.
And the worst part of that movie is that she had very little talking time.
Yeah.
That's what she was mad at.
It kills me.
Yeah.
It kills me. She was sophisticated. She was smooth. But they gave her very little talk time.
It was like a super agent. You see when she went downstairs, she was the thing all up. Like, Batman couldn't have did that without his utility belt. That's why he was going to find a way to try to get her. Where'd that girl go? Get your utility belt. You might be able to find her now. You know what I mean? That's why I said when females do certain things, and it's like when they write, they get down with it. So that's why I tell females all the time, come out, but you gotta have a tough skin because you have to work 200 or 300%. 100% ain't gonna do it. 100% is them to look at you. The other percent is like, I have to deal with her. I don't want to deal with her. Because a silent person is a good person to them. Females is power, intelligence. That's why I tell people when you look at us, I said when I teach them all the time, know your laws before you even make comic books. What the hell does that mean, Mr. Brown? I don't understand that. Even the little kids that know my laws, but I teach them infringement laws. I tell them how to copyright their stuff, everything. This is how you send your way, this and this and that. And I let them read the old books and they see these laws. So this is an infringement law. Before they get in my class, these little kids, he's seen it. You got 8-year-old kids reading law books. They better know how to read their law books because if somebody sees their artwork, they be like, oh my God, that looks like Ed and Eddie. Maybe we can do a new one. And these kids are geniuses. They work on computers. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, they was like, Mr. Brown, you all old school. I'm like, no, I like doing, elbow grease. I get down. I work on computer now. That little girl, she drilled it in my head. There's no way you can make a career. I like comic books, but I like this way it looks. The old style. His artist is telling me, yo, you're not on a computer? How you gonna move ahead and you're like 10 years behind? You got great stories, but it don't look good. I had to revamp my whole style.
The whole thing.
They were like, before you come back out, it took me a year to learn how to draw again.
I'm the guy that a lot of writers come to. And like I said, this platform thing about how you set up your story and everything else. If someone comes to me and says, "Look, I got a story for you. I need you to read and tell me what you think," I said, before I even get involved with reading your book, where's your profile of your characters? Because I want at least the 5 main characters. I want their profiles. I want to know who they are, their body stats, how they're raised. I want their backstory before I even get involved in reading your book.
He still does it to me.
Next step. Where's your outline at? Because I mean, profile is nice, but if you don't have an outline already done for your story, how the hell are you going to tell your story and not be all into different paths? You know, go on loops and loops and loops and loops. I said, give me your beginning, your middle, your end. If you can't give me that, then you're not ready to write your story yet. Profiles, outline. That is a standard before I even look at anyone's work. And I think I've learned to kind of shy away now from people say, "Oh, give me this, give me that. Let me see." Before I was kind of hungry because I was still new to the thing, and I started reading people's work and said, "This is terrible." I mean, I would do it in a manner as just personally. I would do it in a manner where it's constructive criticism. I would still kind of stomach it and say, "Look, brother, look, you need to redo this." And I don't care if you're white, black, Hispanic, Indian. Anyone comes up to me, you're a human being. You have a story you want to tell. That's cool with me. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what religion you are. But you came to me, you're asking for I don't want to say I'm a professional, but you're asking for my honest opinion. I want to give it to you, but constructively. And the thing is that when I have other professionals come up to me and say, "Eric, we heard about your work. I need your work." I was at a con a few months ago, and I was just doing my thing. I was a guest, and I had a guy come to my table and said, "Are you Mr. Cooper?" I said, "Yes, I am. I need your comic real bad." I said, "Well, who are you?" "Well, I'm Mark Bagley." Sign. Don't even pay for it. That's you. And Marvel, and one of the main guys, Marvel. No, dude, that's you. I'm not even worried about that. Go do your thing. But that's the respect I have. But also, I'm not worried about anyone infringing my product because guess what? There are stars and actors in my work. I have Patrick Stewart, Jonathan Frakes, Kate Mulgrew, Avery Brooks, Ray Park. All these guys know my work. Guess what? And they're characters in my world. So if anyone ever said, "Oh, Eric didn't produce this," well, you better talk to the actors and their people because guess what? They got my books. They got signatures in my stuff. So trust me, I'm well protected.
So grind.
I'm well protected. That's why never do a work in secret.
I mean,
never do it in secret.
That's what I met Michael Jai White. We went up to New York, and I was terrified. I was like, "Yo, I've been doing this product of him, but now I have to talk to him and push it in his face." And then he didn't say nothing. He just looked like, I'm like, "Yo, he might punch me in my face." You know what I mean? 'Cause he has that Mike Tyson face, like he played the Mike Tyson where he's like, I'm like, "Dude, and Soul does this, and this is him. He do this and this and that." He said, "What's it stand for?" I said, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "It's Bobby Seale's son, but he's a future superhero hero, and he goes by the 10-step program. He doesn't do any of the superhero stuff. He goes by the 10-step program. His brother is Huey Newton's son." And he was like, "What?" He was like, "So how many can I get?" I was like, "Well, you want them?" He was like, "Yo, I want to advertise for you." So he's taking pictures of all my stuff, and he's like, "Yo, does anybody else like me in your house?" I was like, "My wife, she said she would leave me." He was like, "What's your number?" And I was like, here's her number. He calls her up. She hangs up on him. She's like, "Yeah, Jabbar, stop playing." Then the FaceTime thing, and then she was like, and then he was like, "Yeah, we're going to take him out to eat. We want to talk about how we're going to sell this stuff." So they took us all out to eat. We went to this bar. We did all kinds of stuff. The next thing you know, we're chilling with the guy from The Last Dragon and what's
back, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was just ridiculous. And they were like, "Brother, we never seen people that believe in their product." And I was like, "For real?" They were like, "Yeah, because everybody always wants to do the exact same thing. It's like a carbon copy of a carbon copy, but a carbon copy, but a carbon copy." It's the exact same thing like rap. You had the no message, but you just have different rappers saying the no message. I said, you have a message in every book? He's like, don't you have a normal book that don't have a message? I was like, should I work on one? He said, no. What's the purpose of that? He said, for 75 years, we've seen Batman, Superman, and X-Men and everything. He was like, I can learn something off of this. If my nephew reads a 10-step program, he might get it. He's like, who do you sell to the most? I tell people to this day. I just started selling to black people, probably like 3 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. White people was on it.
Same thing, mine.
Snap. It was like hip hop.
Yeah.
Dude, bro, man, look. Awesome. Can I take a picture, bro? I'm like, you want to take a picture with my book? Bro.
All
like,
over.
What? And black people walk past.
Yeah.
And I'm like, brother, I did this for you. And dude, you ain't seen this book, bro? It was like, yo, it was like the first time they ever seen or heard hip hop. I want to be a part of that somehow, some way. I figured out. My friend from Nickelodeon, he did Brother Man. He does like 24 Legacy and all that type of stuff. And Mr. Captain Underwood, was it Mr. Underpants?
Underpants, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, Jabbar, I said, black people don't get on it like that right now. He said, it's changed. He said, when I came out doing comic books and, you know, he said, I had to change. He said, because I was selling all black. He said, but when I created the Rugrats and Wild Thornberries, he said, dude, I was selling to so many whites. He said, when I put my thing on my books out there, they were like, oh, that's cool. They wouldn't even know. He said, the old guys would know that's Brother Man. But this whole new generation was like, can I have a hug? Can I get the autograph? He said, I'd never been loved before like that. He said, this is the place where I tried to stay away from. I always wanted to sell to my black. But he said, I caught on. If I'm being the exact same way that the white guy's doing me, what good am I? That's not humanity. Yeah. He said, I'm picking out the race first, and I'm just trying to sell to one race. He was like, Jabbar, don't you ever do that. And I was like, okay. By the second year, I was like, some black people have to start buying this book. I had to start going to black comicons to actually sell my book. And they would actually even scratch their head like, come on, dude. And I would have to tell them, like, it has guns in it. The Christians will come up to it has guns in it. I just had one in Wizard. I said, it's the Blacklivesmatter book. I said, it's about a guy named Darren Church. He was a deaf kid that got shot by cops after he got beat up at a prom. He was the first black man to take a white girl to a prom at this high school in Delaware. Wrong move, dog food. The brother didn't like him. Everybody else didn't like him. But she was like, yo, I'm in true love with this dude. I don't see his color. And at that time in 89, it wasn't like that. So I say right now, if you have a product, make it for everyone.
Yes.
It might have your face on it, but make it for everyone. Black, white, gay, Muslim, I don't care who you are. I'm making this product for you. My time is up. I don't know if tomorrow was even promised. I tell people this all the time. They tell me, stop saying that. But I tell my kids all this every single day. I don't know if I'm going to live tomorrow, so I'm pushing out much work as I can. I don't know if I can do all this for long, but the thing is, if I go, I'm pretty cool. Because the thing is, all I wanted for all the time I've been doing this, I told them all the time, I want to teach these children. Because nobody gave a damn about me. I tell them all the time, my dad was the first black polo player in the United States. People were over our house. He played in the Alfred Hitchcock movies, everything. And the hardship he took, you probably see all the time. You see little black kids riding horses in the ghettos. That was his product. That's what he did in 1975. This is our child abuse. This is what I took and wrote it in books after a while I learned how to write. He used to beat the mess out of us because he had to go getting called Spear Chucker, Spook. He had to change his name half of the time to get on the field. And I tell people, he told us, the only reason I beat y'all like this, because the world was going to beat you even worse. Mom be beat up, dog be kicked in the wall somewhere, you know what I mean? Everybody beat up, crying, everything. But the world's going to beat you up even worse. After he died when I was young, I was like, yo, I get it. I get it. And now that I'm older, I got gray hairs in my face. I see all the other dudes, they're cracked out, or I'm teaching their kids. All the people I used to sell drugs with, I'm teaching their kids now. If I go tomorrow, I'm happy. If I go today, I'm happy because I know I taught some of them kids that run up to me and say, Mr. Brown, I learned something, I even read something new. That's the point of this. I love doing comic books, but the thing is to see them kids smile. I don't get the same enjoyment of somebody doing an autograph. I told them a couple days ago, I don't get it. I love doing my comic book. I love it because it's not work. It's something that God gave me. I had to stop being big-headed. I said, it's about these kids. I don't care what I do later on. I said, I can go to comic books and keep on doing these Comic-Cons, but it's not for me anymore. It's for them kids. It shouldn't matter. If you're an artist, make it for these kids. Make it for these teens. Make it for that they can learn. Every single thing you should do have a message in it. It's not cool to be a sellout first and then make your money, your quick money. Help the person that doesn't even look like you, don't believe the stuff you believe. Help them out. Because, you know, somebody's always looking at you. And if somebody give you a gift to help you have a platform to speak to other people, use it. Use it. You're hurting other people if you're not doing it. If you can write a story, or you can write a story, and you can write a beautiful story, please use it. Because you know what? A little kid that looks just like you or not look like you, sit there and say, she can do it. He can do it. I can do it. So always do it for the kids. I love my message and stuff. When I had to go to Angela Davis Ramona, Africa, to put the 10-step program in there, she said, okay, now we're going to speak to the chapters. My heart dropped because now I got to talk to all these Black Panthers that pumped this comic book. And I went. I had to listen to a lot of ridicule. Don't you do this, and this, and this, and this, and that. Because you know what they did to our Black Panther before? Jack Kirby came to the Malcolm X meeting and got the rights to do that. That's how I got the Black Panther name. They were going to call it something else, King of Wakanda, or something like that. They weren't going to call it Black Panther. He went to when after they killed Malcolm X, he went to the wife. Huey Newton and them guys were protecting her. He asked them. He's the only white dude out there. Big cigar, little short midget dude. Can I do this and make this man intelligent? You're killing off all your intelligent kind. Can I bring something to it? Make it plural. We don't want a whole bunch of people because people are not going to buy it. They canceled that book in 10 issues. People don't know that. We love Black Panther, but they canceled it in 10 issues. He beat the Ku Klux Klan up, then he beat Bucky up, and then he beat the one and only, had the American flag on. It's a done rap, and they fired Jack Kirby.
Yep.
He went to DC Comics and made some other comic books. His own friend fired him. We don't need that yet. His best friend made him work with a whole bunch of blacks and Puerto Ricans and people that don't want to. You're going to work down there. That's his best friend. He changed his name to Stan Lee. If you're going to do your best friend like that, you're not working for the kids. You're working for the man. Jack Kirby gave us enjoyment. Half of the books y'all read, Marvel and DC, are Jack Kirby. And like he said, we make it for the children. We give message. They fire me every single time I do a message. Every time I do a message, they fire me. And it's true. And then, like that's what I said, do what you do.
And that's what I told about to Bar when I first started this whole thing about Knightseeker. I had to put something out that I said, okay, most industry right now, we have 5 minutes, was fine. Most industry right now, let's just finish up with this. Most industry right now is mainly about entertainment only. There is no message.
At all.
No one's teaching a damn thing. No one's teaching anything. Not one blessed thing. And the thing is, back in the day, the stories were to give you enlightenment about yourself and people around you. No one's doing that today. It's all about, oh, bang this, big explosion, oh, the superhero can lift this, lift that. But what's the reason why they're doing it? I mean, even new creators I see with their product, I go through their stuff, I said, why did I read this story? I can be entertained. I could put a video game on and be entertained. But what do I carry with me when I get done with your product? That's what I want to know. What am I carrying with me? That's to make me a better person than I am today. That's why you can pick up the Bible or the Quran, whatever. Each time you read it, guess what? It's a different story because guess what? Your life experiences are going to affect the way you read that and your perception of what you read. What do you carry with you? Once you can do that and know your true self, you can put out your product.
And you pump it and never
and
forget
believe
it.
in that damn thing to the hilt. The first book of Knightseeker, it was learning about your true potential in this world. Second book had a religious aspect to it because it tests your faith. Third book is a chiller. It's about an axe murderer. It tests your moral judgments. I even had a criminal psychologist. She's one of my fans. She wrote me, said, Eric, oh my God, you're a villain, Ray Park. I love Ray Park and all, but the way you create your character, if I was in his shoes, I would have did the same damn thing he did. And I'm a criminal psychologist. I deal with prisons all the time. But I felt for your character because everything you went through, I understood where he's coming from. I honor him, even though he did what he had to do. But guess what? I took with me is that you were talking about morals. Yes. She said, no one does that anymore. Yes, I know. So, that being said, you have to figure out why you're telling that story. And when a person gets done reading it, what are they carrying with them? Because don't forget, every time you put out a book, it's the essence of you. It's the essence of you yourself. Because you get to tell your story, you get to tell it in your own way. But the thing is, your stories will outlive you. What will people tell you? I hate to go to a graveyard and I see a tombstone, such person. Oh, we can't tell about that person. Oh, the person was nice. You know, they paid their bills. They did that, this. But what did they stand for?
And just with that part, what did they stand for? He went to Trayvon Martin's father. They did some artwork. We would love to keep his name going. So sometimes the artists change. So we had to let some projects slide. I hounded this man. I'm teaching and none of the kids know who the hell he is. Not one of these kids, but they know all the rap songs. They know everything. You know, they don't know who Trayvon Martin is. I said, please let me bring him back as a hero. Let me show a little bit how just when he's eating his food and he's coming home, let me put that into a book. He didn't answer a couple times. Then he started answering. His wife seen it. They don't remember my son. He's the Emmett Till for this generation. How do they not know my son? She put on, do the book. Do it now. Mm-hmm. I feel it because I have a son that looks just like him. Not Barack Obama. I have heart. I can speak what it is. If somebody wanted to take me out today, I'd be whatever. I spoke without thinking. I have heart. I'm not gonna. I could have had a son that looked like that. I have a son like that. I have to tell him every single day, brother, you are almost tall as I am. You're almost thick as I am. And the thing is, they will love to shoot you. So this book is going to give you a message. He's like, Dad, but you give me a message every single day. You even make me listen to Blerd Con, old Malcolm X, Bobby Seale. I got to listen to all that stuff. I said, yeah, because the rest of the time you listen to Little Uzi and Little Yahtzee and all the other stuff. So you got to be balanced somewhere. You got to later on figure out where the hell do I fit in at? You know what I mean? And that was the purpose of the book. So when we were working with Tracy Martin's dad, you know what I mean? We had to do it with heart.
And reason.
Reason. You got to believe in yourself.
And I'll finish off with this, and this is my last little bit. I was at a panel for San Diego 2 years ago, and it was the Independent Writers Panel. And you guys know San Diego Con, it's packed, it's huge. There's probably about 700 people in this room. And it was black, white, couple of guys that were writers in the front. And I came in with my co-writer, and he said, oh, Eric, guess what? We got a seat for you. You know, the guy in the show, we wanted to sit. So it was my vacation. I just want to relax. But I had the respect, which is awesome. So I sat down, and they're going through a thing, and they got to a question and answer session. And I had the honor of asking the last question. I said, well, it's not to you guys. This is the audience. They said, you might want to listen to him. We know Eric's work. I turned around to the audience and said, look, before you put out your product, and you have to believe in it. Know why I believe in my product? Because I offer 100% money back guarantee on my work. So the panel dropped their mouths. They had no comeback. And they said, that's when you know you're ready to produce your product. And things, people ask the cars and everything. You know, I got one lady come up to me and says, "You remind me of someone that I miss dearly." I said, "Who are you?" "My name is Charlotte Fulton." "I'm sorry?" "Last name married-wise, McDuffie." She cried on my shoulders. Said, "You're the only person that holds a light to my husband." That is the most honorable thing I've ever gotten from somebody that says, and Dwayne McDuffie was big. That man had purpose. Everything he did, he had purpose what he did. And I don't see that anyone today. And it's a damn shame. That's why Milestone 2 is not coming out, guys, because Dwayne McDuffie's not there. I hate to say it. Do not rely on Milestone 2 to come out. Produce your own damn product and put your stuff out there. I don't care if you're white, black, Jewish, whatever. I don't care if you're gay. Talk to me and him. We're upstairs in Vendor's room. I was looking for knightseeker. I'm wearing my suit. You can't miss me. But the guys, I thank you so much for coming.